Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, this story is a big one, and honestly, it's kind of unexpected. Right now, Rockstar Games is facing serious allegations. A British trade union group has accused Rockstar of union busting after reportedly firing between 30 and 40 employees across their UK and Canadian offices. And while Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive is flat out denying those claims, calling it, quote, a termination for gross misconduct, a lot of people in the industry aren't buying it. So today, we're breaking down exactly what happened, what we know, what speculation, and how this could quietly become one of the biggest behind-the-scenes stories in the gaming world just months before GTA 6 launches. So here's what kicked all of this off. According to a report from Bloomberg, Rockstar allegedly terminated between 30 and 40 employees working across its UK and Canadian studios earlier this month. Now, that's not unusual by itself. Studios restructure all the time, especially when big games are late in development. But here's where things get messy. The Independent Workers Union of Great Britain claims that every single one of those fired employees had either joined the union or were planning to. Their president, Alex Marshall, said, quote, Rockstar has just carried out one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry. He went on to call it an insult to the workers who bring in their billions, and also, quote, a flagrant contempt for the law. Now that's some seriously heavy language. But then Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive released a statement saying, quote, we strive to make the world's best entertainment properties by giving our best-in-class creative teams positive work environments and ongoing career opportunities. Rockstar Games terminated a small number of individuals for gross misconduct and for no other reason. So two completely different sides of the story. One says it's union busting, the other says it's justified discipline. The question is, which one's closer to the truth? Now, here's where things start to look suspicious. According to the Independent Workers Union Group of Great Britain, the people who were let go were all part of a private trade union Discord chat group. This wasn't a public protest or an organized walkout. It was small, private conversations between employees who were either already unionized or thinking about joining. That alone doesn't prove anything, but the timing is what's setting off alarm bells. These firings reportedly happened right as GTA 6 was entering its final production phase, the period where Rockstar tightens deadlines, locks features, and starts bug testing the game before launch. And for anyone who knows Rockstar's history, that's exactly when crunch culture typically peaks. So if those developers were starting to organize against excessive overtime or push for better working conditions, you can see why people might see this as a silencing move. Now, this isn't the first time Rockstar's work environment has come under the microscope. Back in 2018, right before Red Dead Redemption 2 launched, the New York Times reported that some employees were working 100-hour weeks. It led to massive backlash. Stories from former devs described toxic perfectionism and unsustainable crunch. In the years since, Rockstar's claimed that they've been working to fix that culture, introducing more flexible hours, hiring new HR leadership, and even restructuring departments to reduce burnout. And honestly, a lot of that effort seemed to be paying off. Insiders describe GTA 6's development as the most stable Rockstar project yet. So this story right before launch is definitely a setback for that reputation. It paints the picture of a company that's still struggling to balance creative excellence with fair labor practices. And this isn't just a Rockstar story, it's part of something way bigger happening across the industry. Game studios from around the world are starting to unionize. From Activision Blizzard QA teams to ZeniMax Online, the Elder Scrolls Online devs, to smaller indie collectives, developers are pushing for protection against layoffs, overwork, and pay gaps. And when a company as massive and influential as Rockstar is accused of union busting, that sends shockwaves across the entire gaming industry. Because it's not just about one studio, it's about whether AAA developers can organize at all without facing retaliation. If the IWGB's claims are true, this could become the first major union-busting investigation in modern gaming history. That alone is huge. Now, let's talk about Take-Two's side of the story, because they're being very specific in their wording. They said, and I quote, a small number of individuals were terminated for gross misconduct and for no other reason. Gross misconduct is a legal phrase, usually used to justify immediate termination without severance. It can mean things like leaking confidential material, harassment or discrimination, or a serious violation of company policy. So either Rockstar believes that they have proof that these employees violated their contracts, or they're using the term to protect themselves legally. Either way, it's a bold move right before GTA 6, because even if they're innocent, this story looks really bad optically. So far, some former Rockstar employees, including those not involved in the union, have started speaking up anonymously. According to several Reddit and Reset era posts, Developers are calling the move targeted, saying it's unusual to see multiple terminations across offices happen simultaneously. One source claimed it feels like Rockstar wanted to send a message: you don't test boundaries before GTA 6 ships. Again, that's not confirmed, but it matches Rockstar's past behavior during high-pressure development cycles. The company has a long history of staying silent during controversies until the news cycle moves on. But this time, the union is not backing down. They're reportedly exploring legal options in both the UK and Canada. If those cases move forward, we could see government labor boards step in. And that's when this story goes from rumor to regulation. So here's the million-dollar question. Does any of this affect GTA 6 itself? On the surface, probably not immediately. Rockstar's team is massive, over 2,000 developers across multiple continents. So losing 30 or 40 people won't delay the game. But behind the scenes, it could shake morale. If you're a developer working 60-hour weeks on a global blockbuster and you see your coworkers fired after talking about unionizing, that's pretty chilling. People get scared, they work quieter, and they speak less. And that's not the kind of environment that creates innovation. So while GTA 6 is still on track for May 2026, this controversy might affect how Rockstar operates post-launch, especially if more workers start organizing. The truth is, the gaming industry is hitting a breaking point. 2024 and 2025 have seen more studio layoffs than any year on record. Over 12,000 developers lost their jobs. That's why stories like this hit differently now. It's not just a one-off, it's part of a bigger fight for stability in a billion-dollar industry that's often unpredictable and unforgiving. Rockstar might deny union busting, but this situation is forcing a question that's bigger than them. And that question is, can developers protect themselves in an industry built on passion but driven by profit? And let's be real, Rockstar's games are masterpieces, but behind that brilliance are real people. People who animate, code, test, and build these worlds for years, and sometimes at the expense of their own health. And if those people are being punished for trying to make things better, that's not just bad PR, that's a stain on the legacy of one of the greatest studios in history. Rockstar might deny union busting, and maybe they're right. Maybe this was a justified internal matter. But if they're wrong and this really was retaliation, then the company that built the most rebellious anti-establishment franchise ever made might be doing the exact same thing its own games have always mocked. So what do you guys think? Do you believe Rockstar's explanation, or do you think this is the start of a much bigger story? Drop your take in the comments below, I'll be reading through all of them. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos just like this one. Alright, with that all out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.